Welcome to day 4 of the Pilates mat series, Evolution. Today we're focusing on a core and back workout, and all you'll need is a long rolled up blanket. Once you have a nice tight roll and you're all set, join me on the mat. Once your blanket is in the center of your mat, lay down onto your back, tailbone, all the way through the head, supported by blanket roll. Now, if this isn't comfortable for you, feel free to do these exercises down on your mat is just fine. Let's take a few deep breaths before we get started with any additional movement. Focusing on the rhythm of your breath, and if you're on your blanket roll, notice how that feels for you. Maybe a little wobbly, you can even rock side to side if you'd like. As you continue breathing, let your shoulders fall open. Notice your heavy points on your blanket roll and the lighter points. I would suggest your feet are going to be a little bit wider than your hips here. And your next breath out, float one leg up to tabletop position, then foot comes down. And opposite leg lifts, shin parallel to floor, foot coming right back down. And take this at your own pace. So link movement to breath, exhale to lift, inhale lower. We're trying to minimize how much we're shifting side to side as we lift the leg, and then take it back down. One more time each side. Both feet stay down on your mat. Arms reach up and reach the fingers towards the ceiling. Soften the shoulders down on the mat. Reach the arms up to the ceiling, soften the shoulders down around the blanket roll. So your shoulders may descend a little bit further than if you were just down on the mat. The shoulder blades give the blanket a hug. Allow your shoulders to stay heavy. Arms reach behind your head. Circle arms wide forward to the toes. And then reverse arms. Open wide, reach behind you, reach up to thighs. Now we can add on where we circle back, around, and do a little curl up, and then go right back down. Circle arms around. Little curl up, maybe curling a little higher. Try to press evenly into your feet. And you can maintain these small curls, progressively get a little bit bigger, or maybe we roll all the way up and all the way back down. The blanket roll is going to make this a little bit more challenging, fostering more awareness. Are we truly staying even as we roll down, or maybe one side of the abs is working a little bit more and you notice you become a little wobbly? Just give your body time to figure it out. Remember, this can be big range of motion or small. Let's do one last time here. Very nice. Stay down. Arms come by the side of your body once again. One leg lifts, tap foot down. Opposite leg lift to tap. Now, as an option, we can add on opposite arm to opposite leg lift and lower and switch sides. So as you're doing this walking pattern, just seeing how still you can stay on the blanket roll. I'm not trying to grip or grimace anywhere in the body. More of an effortless flow, as if you were actually just walking. Now we're going to add on this next time where we lift, reach the arm behind you, extend the leg to the ceiling, and then replace. So lift, extend leg, reach arm behind, bend knee, and replace arm leg. Continue at your own pace. So you can slow this down if you'd like. Remember, reaching the leg to straighter and arm behind your head is your option. That's going to make it a little bit more challenging for stability. Let's do about one more time each side. Very nice. Now lift one leg up off of the floor. Open the leg to the side. Return. Same thigh opens to close. Now as the thigh opens, most likely your body's going to want to go with it. Try to keep your body really still and at ease as the leg opens. Even if you go smaller range of motion and it's slower, that's just fine. Next time, leg comes back to center, replace foot, switch sides, opposite leg lifts, and whenever you're ready, start opening the leg and return. So pelvis trying to stay really still as well as rest the body. Notice how when you open the leg, most likely that same arm, that elbow wants to become a little bit heavier. Just what if it stayed a little bit lighter? So we're using less of counterbalance from arms and starting to work more from center. And one more time here. Very nice. Foot goes down. Gently come off of your roll. I'm going to take it behind your back. So we're going to turn the blanket so it's facing the opposite direction on your mat here. Let about your upper to mid back rest onto the blanket. So about where your shoulder blades are. Hands behind your head. And extend your spine over. And if this isn't comfortable for you, just let your spine rest onto the mat, no blanket roll. Take a few breaths here. Go back into your deep rhythmic breathing. And your next breath out, upper ab curl. And then lowering back down. So again, speed, we are not concerned with how fast we're moving with the session. Long breath out to curl up. Pelvis stays still. Just follow the rhythm of your breath. Now we can maintain upper ab curl. Or if you're not using a blanket roll, you can always keep shoulders and head down on your mat as well. Lift one thigh up to tabletop. Foot goes back down. Switch sides, lift. And lower. If you're curling up, keep trying to curl up off that blanket roll into yourself a little bit more. Head heavy along the hands. Really light when the feet come back down. One last time, both feet stay down. Give yourself one last extension over the roll if you're using that. And we'll bring ourselves up and have a seat on your blanket. Even if you don't need to sit on your blanket, I encourage you to do so. Notice how it's a different experience with a little bit of elevation. Feet just a little bit wider than the mat here. Open arms across from the shoulders. And just let the arms pull forward. Then pull shoulders and arms open once again. And really send shoulders and arms are opening and then closing. One more time like this. Now keep your arms reaching in front of you. Pull one shoulder, elbow back, return. Opposite shoulder, elbow pulls back. So now bent arm option, maintaining equal weight in the sits bones here. And we can stay right where we are, where we're going to pull shoulder, elbow, rotate spine, and return. Shoulder, elbow, rotate spine, second side. And go for lengthen spine, maybe slightly bigger range of motion, but it should still feel pretty comfortable. This should feel all beneficial with our movements. Now pull shoulder, elbow back, reach and extend arm, circle it forward, switch sides. Rotate, reach and extend, circle forward. Deep breath in, long breath out. One more time each side. Very nice. Now we're going to come onto the front side of your body on your mat. Let your blanket be in front of you so that your forearms can be on it. Legs very long and straight. Arms straight as well. Inhale, exhale. Your next breath in, small lift up with your spine and lower back down. So starting very small back lift and lowering down, arms supported by blanket. Two more times. Now we'll stay lifted. Let's check it out. Bend the elbows, bring the hands underneath the shoulders. We stayed right where we were with spine. Reach the arms back behind you. One arm opens across from shoulder. Return. Opposite arm across from shoulder. Return. Keep pressing evenly into feet. So keep breathing deeply, moving arm one side to the other. Pause here. Maybe we try to lift our upper and mid back a little bit higher up. Both arms open. Reach back behind. Both arms open. Reach back behind. If you need a little bit of a break, feel free to lower down or press back into child's pose. We just have a few more if you're continuing moving the arms. One last time. Very nice. Lower yourself down. Come up onto hands and knees. We're going to bring the blanket towards us. So our lower leg is on the blanket here, lower legs. So the knees are just hanging off the blanket. So we're not right on top of the knees. We're a little bit in front of that. So find a position that's just right for you. Hands underneath the shoulders here. And play with your foot position. Feet either flat, toenails down on your mat, tuck the toes, or lift the toes up off the mat. So most unstable, toes off. Most stable, toes tucked. In between, toes flat. You can alternate between those as we move through the exercises here. Right now, let's give yourself a little spine extension. Then go back to natural curves. Spine extension, extend through spine. And natural curves once again. Just one more time. And round through your spine this time. We'll round through our spine one time round. And then go back, natural curves. Maintain natural curves, hands stay where they are. Reach one leg back behind you, toes on the floor. Opposite foot down or lifted. Long leg now comes up and down. So an exercise that we do quite often during a Pilates class. Maybe it feels a little bit different, elevated by the blanket, especially if opposite foot is lifted. Just two more times. Very nice. Replace thigh, switch sides. Reach opposite leg long. Really sense stability first, and then lift leg up and down. Long leg up and down. You can sync movement with breath once again. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. One last time. Replace through leg once again. Now both legs stay right where they are. One arm reaches in front of you long. Lift arm up and down. Up and down. Remember, toes either lifted off the mat or down if you want a little extra support. It's like kickstand of a bike. helping that bike stay lifted, or you just balance without your toes. Very nice. Hand down, switch sides, opposite arm, lift to lower. Finding some ease here, staying as still as possible and rest the body. That will help us as we add on. One last time. Very nice. Both hands underneath you. Go back to extending one leg, toes down on the mat. Opposite arm reaches as an option. Arm and leg come up and down. Try to make this as smooth as possible. And even if you have your other foot down for a little extra support, it may be a little wonky, a little wobbly. That's okay. And if your foot's up, well, it's probably wobbly for sure. We're just trying to smooth it out as much as possible and go slow. One more time here. Very nice. Replace. Take a breath in center and switch sides. Opposite leg goes straight and then arm. Whenever you're ready, go for your slow ride to lift and to lower. You may notice a particular phase that's a little bit more challenging. Just give the body time to get used to this exercise. The slight different option of blanket. 2 more times. Very nice. Replace knee. Hand one time through, round through the entire spine. And gently reverse curves of entire spine. Round through one last time. And natural curves. Very nice. Come off blanket roll and let it slide in front of you again. So we're coming back down onto our front sides. Maybe the blanket's going to be a little bit closer towards you. Legs nice and straight once again. Press down. Imagine dragging the blanket towards you a little bit and lowering right back down. Now, if the blanket doesn't move, that's okay. My blanket's not actually moving, but what you're sensing is your muscles are trying to pull it back. And if your blanket moves, that's also okay. If I were to put my blanket on the floor, it would slide. So if you want more of that sliding sensation, and it's not sliding on your blanket, you can just scooch forward a little bit. Either way, if we pull back on the blanket, when we come up, we'll get a bigger spine lift and engage muscles in a different way. Now, let's stay lifted. Lift just one thigh up, lower leg down, opposite leg lift. Keeping legs straight, stay connected to center. Now, as we continue, lift one leg and opposite arm, just like we did when we were kneeling on the blanket. Now it's a different experience in spine extension. Do one more time each side. Very nice. And then lower yourself down. Lift spine right back up. Legs stay heavy. Pelvis stays equally weighted. One arm lifts. Open, circle arm back behind. Reverse, arm reaches forward, lowers down. Second arm lifts. Open and circle. Awareness of when arm lifts and circles, it's really easy to start rocking over to the opposite side. Can we use more center support again to stay as still as possible as just the arm moves? And one last time here. Very nice. Lower yourself down. Take the hands underneath the shoulders and press yourself up maybe a little bit higher. If you like a lower spine extension, feel free to stay low or we come up to a higher range of motion. And then lowering back down. So this can stay small or as large as feels comfortable for back, for abdomen. Let the shoulders just stay released down. So the goal is not to straighten the arms all the way. It's okay if they do, but just check in to your body rather than thinking the arms must straighten all the way. And another time here. Very nice. Allow yourself to press back into child's pose. Since you have the blanket, you may want to see how it feels to have your forehead on the blanket instead of on the floor or on the mat. Take a few deep breaths here. And if you don't like the lifted blanket option, just bring your head down onto the mat. This is a nice little reset before our home stretch of the session. Take another deep, spacious breath here. And as you breathe out, bring yourself up and let's take the blanket back to where we began. So lengthwise on the mat, pelvis to head supported. Get comfy. I'm going to turn up that dial a little bit of intensity. Take some breath. Maintain connection to center. That's where we're going to be working from. One thigh lifts, lowers. So we'll just go back to this alternating motion, getting comfortable again on the blanket. And you can keep it here, alternating legs, one foot staying down. Or we lift leg, keep it there, opposite leg lifts. And just take some breath and stillness here. Now legs open in line with hips or a little bit wider, easier to stabilize. If you want more of a challenge, squeeze your legs together. So open or closed, your choice. Now one arm reaches up, arm lowers down, opposite arm reaches and down. Keep your shoulder just nice and heavy, reaching down next to the blanket. Just taking this at our own pace. Both arms stay down. One foot reaches down towards the mat. Bring the thigh back up. Opposite leg reaches forward and down and up. And this isn't about your toes touching. So the knee stays still. We move from the hip to lower the leg and lift. And you're after sensation rather than feeling the mat. So even if the leg doesn't go all the way down, trying to really sense staying connected to front center in particular here. Let's do one more time, each side. Very nice. Now we're going to keep both legs lifted. Keep breathing deeply. One arm reaches up. How might it feel to let the opposite arm lift as well? Ooh, a little wobbly. If one foot has to come down or one arm has to come down, that is just fine. Deeper breaths. Just play with it. We don't have to be perfect with our practice. Allow both arms to come down now. And one arm reaches up back behind you, opposite toes go down. Replace arm and leg. Switch sides. So very similar to what we did towards the beginning of the session, just a slightly different sequence. Now as you continue, can you sense your leg reaching a little bit further away from you? So it's not how low it gets to the floor, but we're trying to get it further away from the blanket. One more time like this, each side, and then we're going to mix it up. Very nice. Flex through the feet, extend one leg in front of you and bend. So leg is going to be higher now. It can go super high towards the ceiling or a little bit lower to the floor. But again, it's sensation you're after and not how low it's getting. Staying connected to center. Can you be lighter in the shoulders, in your arms? Now, if your hips are talking to you a little bit, they're working, that's okay. I'm going to stretch them out in just a moment. One last time. Very nice. Feet come down. Let your hips lift up just one time. Hips to come up, shoulders soften down. Take a deep breath in when you're up. Long breath out. Another deep breath in. And then lowering down on to the blanket just for a moment so our pelvis gets down. Roll off to the side and take the blanket right underneath the pelvis. So lift the hips up, pelvis rests on to blanket now. So just a little bit of elevation. Pull thighs into chest and keep hold of one leg. Opposite leg reaches up to the ceiling. Strong leg starts reaching forward. Go for your sensation. We may start to feel a stretch through the hip. Pull opposite knee up in towards the forehead. Leg that's reaching longer and lower to the floor away from you. Really have it engaged so it's not just relaxed here. We're really almost tensed up with the muscles, another way to say it. The muscles on fire. It's like working for us. We can choose to intentionally bend the knee and take the foot down. But again, try not to just relax right now. We'll do a more relaxed position at the very end. Bend both knees into your chest and switch sides. Opposite leg goes up. Straight, engaged leg as the leg reaches forward. Pulling opposite thigh in towards you. Now the leg you have a hold of, you can be on the shin, you can be behind the thigh, what feels nice. Leg reaching in forward in front of you. Again, you can intentionally bend the knee if you like, but it's still strong. It's still working. Allow yourself to take deeper breaths here. Very nice. Bend both knees in towards you. Reach both legs up towards the ceiling. They may have to stay a little bit bent. Maybe they go to a straighter position. Flex through the toes. So it's like you're on tippy toe position, pressing balls of the feet up towards the ceiling. Then flex through the feet and press the heels of the feet up towards the ceiling. Open the legs right in line with the pelvis, so you should see space between the feet and ankles. Then bend the knees and push feet down onto the mat. Arms can be wide. They can stay on blanket, go on abdomen. What would feel nice right now? Flex one foot and slide leg forward. The leg may easily slide all the way forward to a straight position, but keep center body still. So we're not going to let the space between the floor and our low back change as the leg reaches away from us. Now, no matter where the leg is, let it release and soften a little bit more now. Let your shoulders soften and relax. Can you find more ease in this position and less engagement? Your next breath out, bend the knee, replace the foot. Feel equal weight on the pelvis and flex through opposite foot. Strongly push the leg away. So right now it's engaged. We're actively pushing leg away. And maybe it ends slightly bent. Maybe it goes to a more extended straight position. When you're in your end range of motion, take a deep breath in, and on your exhale, can you relax and soften in leg, and arms and shoulders. Feel support from blanket, from floor. Take another deep breath here, and your breath out. Bring leg underneath you. Allow the hips to lift up. Just so you can slide your blanket roll out. Hips come down onto the mat. Notice sensations in the body, how you're feeling right here. You can stay right where you are or end having a seat. And again, I'm going to encourage you, have a seat on your blanket, right on top of the sits bones. Get comfortable here. And just notice the natural curves of spine. You don't need to force anything. And be aware of the residual effects of the class. What are you experiencing? Was there a shift that occurred because of the session? What exercises came with more ease? What was a little bit more wobbly? Just give it time, but always so proud of yourself for showing up for another Pilates class. If you were feeling a little bit wobbly for some of those exercises, give this video a thumbs up and drop a comment down below. What was the most challenging Pilates exercise for you in today's session? I hope that this class continues to support you throughout the remainder of your day. Have a beautiful day and join me on the mat soon. And if you've been moving with this full Pilates series, just one more day to go. Day 5, total body workout using a towel.